Hey guys, some Gamer Dude here. So last Sunday wasn't too hot, wasn't raining, didn't have anything on, and I could finally go to play Final Fantasy. Won 2 of my 4 games, came 8th out of 12, which is pretty good for just a starter and no prior playtesting. Just went in there fresh with the 13 deck, which seemed a bit more realistically playable than the 10 deck due to the more control focused. I promised a review after I did get to play, so here we are. So, the Final Fantasy trading card game. How does it play and what do I think of it? As I said in my unboxing video, it's a Magic clone, or more precisely, it's a clone of Duel Masters, Magic's Japanese little half brother. So I'm not going to bother going into depth of how to play. If you've played Magic, Duel Masters, Kajudo, Force of Will, or the Spoils, you know exactly how this plays out. Generate resource, use resource to pay for spells or summons creatures. Instead, I'm going to talk about how it differentiates itself and how this impacts upon the game. The biggest and most important difference is the CP system. Instead of having a land you tap as a resource, you can pitch cards to produce CP. Crystal points, 2 of whatever colour it is, to play backups, forwards and summons. This system has 2 impacts upon the game. Firstly, forwards, especially the strong ones, hit the board relatively fast, if you can pitch for it. There is no restriction upon how many cards you can pitch, so 4 drops, 6 drops, all can hit the board as early as turn 1. Normally I'd jump up and down about such powerful cards hitting the board this early, but so far I don't have an issue with it. This is because of a couple of things. The power gap between drops isn't particularly high. The 2 drop is around 5,000, the 6 drop is closer to 8,000 with a fairly big effect. It's not impossible to manage, especially with effects and spells, summons. But more importantly, double breaker type cards, ones that would inflict 2 points or more of damage, don't seem to exist, or at the very least, don't exist yet. This means if you can't stop an attack without losing too much, or be able to chump block, etc., you aren't taking excessive amounts of damage. In my opening, I called backups lands. This is not entirely accurate. They do function like lands, but have more in common with foundations of Universal Fighting System. It's a really odd thing. Most of the games I was lucky to end up with 3 backups max, mostly used for color fixing, as Final Fantasy uses a threshold system, not specific costs. Again, like Duel Masters. So just 1 of each card can fix anything, make up odd numbers, why pitch 2 cards for a 3 cost when you don't have to, or more importantly, their effect. Some of the backups have really good quality effects worth using. I never felt like I needed them explicably to play things, just to help. Coupled with the discard for crystal points and the draw 2 versus draw 1 draw phase, it's a very unique system. It's a bit inorganic, but you get used to it quickly and it does work. Color screw can be and is a thing if your hand is bad or you don't plan ahead through backups, but Flood and Drought really aren't. It doesn't seem well thought out at first glance, and at first it doesn't feel right, but it works out perfectly fine. I rarely had an issue doing anything and was able to do what I wanted without it being a toxic situation. While very Vanguard-esque for a Magic clone, I believe the special system is unique. Having some special abilities require extra copies of the same character to fuel in addition to the resource cost. Given that this game has a legendary rule for most every single forward and backup, the ones where you can have multiples out are rare, this turning other copies into what are essentially instant spells is interesting and helps balance. You can't have anything out that multiples would cause an overly oppressive situation, but since the deck needs 3 for consistency, maybe more if you run 2 versions of the same character, those cards don't become dead. It also creates a bluff situation. Do they or don't they have the extra copy of that character? Is it worth swinging in? It's nice. Also a note for the combat system, the game essentially has a variation of banding. Forwards of the same element can attack together, and the defender can split damage however they like, but the combined attack will only do 1 point of damage regardless. I didn't see anyone try it, I didn't try it myself. It exists, it might get supported later, but it's not really worth the time without Brave, aka Vigilance I believe. Not really sure how to feel about the best of 1. Between the whole hand to the bottom mulligan, 50 card deck and draw 2, I don't think there is enough variance to make games need best of 3. Of course, this may change, and it will irk people. Best of 1 is susceptible to random chance influencing the game, and I'm sure it has and does, but I don't think there is enough right now to force best of 3. Best of 1 is fine for now. Unfortunately, that's all Final Fantasy does that's unique. The combat system, bar instant speed, effects, spells, and having a group attack system no one seems to use, is straight out of Duel Masters. Phased, but fluid in that everything doesn't go in at once. Instead, it's one by one. Only one numerical value. The damage system and EX burst system is essentially just Duel Masters in reverse, just like how Vanguard works. Again, it's a Duel Masters clone. This is why I can't get behind the game. It doesn't do anything new. While one set might not be enough to gauge the entire game on, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything better than anyone else either. After I finished, I didn't feel anything. I just felt like I played a variation of Magic. It did nothing to make me drop everything else for it and mass invest into it. I discussed this with my friend who was with me on the day. I came to the conclusion my overall opinion of the game is meh, neither here nor there. 3 over 5. It doesn't do anything explicably wrong. It doesn't do anything new and exciting. Just meh. So this really begged the question to me. Why is it sold out everywhere? What do people like about it so much? It's not amazing or fresh. I think, like Vanguard taking advantage of Yu-Gi-Oh being in a horrible position when it launched, Final Fantasy is probably helped by Forceville slipping in popularity massively during the Alice cluster, and Magic's overall position with a garbage standard, and Wizards seemingly attempting to dial back modern and whatnot. Final Fantasy is like both of them. It's untainted so far. It's also based on one of the most popular video game franchises. It's a perfect storm situation. That actually puts it in a good position. Vanguard is still a very healthy seller despite its numerous problems because it caught a lot of people in when they were dissatisfied with Yu-Gi-Oh! Games only get big now when one of the big 3 fails to satisfy. There you have it, my review of the Final Fantasy trading card game. It's fine, nothing amazing, nothing awful. It's just a clone of a dumbed down Magic the Gathering but with a beloved IP. This has been Some Gamer Dude, and I'll see you guys next time.